So no one told you life was going to be this way. Your job's a joke, you're broke, your love life's DOA. If you were born before 1990, you can probably sing the rest of the song in your sleep. And I can think of actually of a lot of examples that I can pretty much recite word for word, but I haven't heard the song in years.
It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it has everywhere you look, there's a heart, Days go by, we're gonna fill our house with happiness.
Now this is a story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down,
And those are just shows that start with the letter F. I love these intros. They got me amped up for my favorite shows. They gave me just enough time to yell to my brother that they were starting and so we can grab snacks and settle in for some family fun. You know, this jingle was almost designed at a time that you needed it to signify that your show was starting. And there wasn't any DVR, so you couldn't record it to watch later unless you had a VCR with a tape ready to record at that exact time. So the opening credits sequence was like a call to action. It was like our anticipatory guide that showed us our favorite characters, their past hijinks, and gave us the familiar comfort that maybe they were part of our own family. So fast forward until today, and I'd actually say that we live in sort of a golden age of content and media. We can watch anything, anytime that we want. And to heck with even knowing when things are on, I don't even know what day of the week shows take place anymore because I just record everything on my DVR or stream it after it airs. In our race to consume all of this content, we build up these masses of media that we consume in huge doses at a time, so no wonder we call it binging. Side note, I had a student tell me one time that we shouldn't call it binging because it signifies addiction, and we should call it marathoning instead. You decide what category you think you fall under, a binge eater or a marathon runner of this type of content. I know which category I fall under. Anyway, this type of consumption hasn't gone unnoticed. I mean, think about how you watch videos now. The act of taking a tape out of its case or DVD out of its case, putting it in the VCR or your DVD player, pushing play, fast forwarding through all the previews is gone. You swipe up on your phone now and you look at micro content. And sometimes you don't even unmute the video in the hopes that it has subtitles because you're in the middle of doing something else and you want the people around you to know what you're doing or what you're watching because you're trying to multitask. This is what some opening credit sequences look like now. Those are like 2 to 3 seconds long. We don't have time for character development or full songs or quirky situations and sets that have nothing to do with anything that ever occurs on the show. Give me the stuff. I need my stuff. It's almost like we feel our time is wasted on things that we're deliberately watching. Netflix even has the option to skip the intro of a show that you don't want to see anymore. And yes, on the one hand, this is very convenient. If you stream or you record your content, it gives you the freedom to skip advertisements. You can rewind something to catch something you may have missed. So why am I talking about this so much? Because fundamentally, the entire concept of what it means to engage with content has changed. We don't have one TV in our house anymore. Now any screen is your TV. Not interested in a particular episode? Skip it. Don't want to wait until next week for your show? Thanks to Netflix, their original content is released all at once, so you can watch it all at your leisure. So with all this said, there's 2 things that come to mind. 1, we need to be aware of this reality when we're designing lessons and activities for our students. And 2, as educators, we really need to rethink our role. Even the word classroom assumes that learning only takes place in there, and we bring knowledge, value, and relevance to that room and everyone inside of it. Is that really true? There are so many banal things that we do with technology that perpetuate this type of mentality. Have a student that hates their school-issued iPad? Ask them if they hate their phone. The answer? No, they don't. Why? Because their phone is a device that we have not kneecapped and turned it into an authority brick. They can do stuff with their phone. They can learn stuff on YouTube. They don't have to jump through 10 hoops to install and try out an app. They have choice. And look, I'm not here to tell you that you're not going to run into issues with students that are on their phones that are not using them appropriately. Classroom management is something that has to be developed over time. It's not something that happens overnight. And if you start to think in terms of how these devices can help you in your teaching practice, rather than simply looking for the negatives and only the possibilities of them derailing what you're trying to get kids involved in, you'll start to see the positives and you'll start to see the ways in which that you could teach that you couldn't possibly teach without the technology. Are you not sure what Twitter is? Ask your students. They'll tell you. And if they're not using it, maybe that's not a platform that you're ready to jump into yet. If you think that they're constantly on Snapchat or Instagram, talk to your students about it. Ask them, where do they find value in Instagram and Snapchat? What are they using it for? Are they making their own content with it? How are they getting this out to a broader audience? Are they advocating for a specific cause? We can afford these conversations in school. We're at a point where teachable moments, they can be done in reverse now. Our students can teach us a whole lot about platforms that we're not comfortable with, and maybe to shed some light on why are they viable? What are these tons of apps that I just don't have the mental capacity to constantly be in front of all the time? We can attack this together, but simply saying that devices are distracting our students from real learning, I don't think that's the case. I think they're doing their own real learning, and we are just simply not okay with that. So, does all this tie together? I don't know. But I guess you can ask yourself, are you one of the opening credit sequences that students really want to engage with and watch the full way through and can't get enough of? Or are you one that they just want to skip? Thanks for watching. You can find me all these different places. And until next time.